So welcome to our EPP Group TV program and podcast show organized by the EPP Group press service covering the work of the European Parliament Committee on Culture and Education. Let's talk about Lux Prize, the history, today's situation of cinema in Europe, impacts and involvement on economy, and how to bring the cinema clearer to and closer to the people.
Today we would like to promote the voting of 2025 Lux Audience Award or Lux Prize that will end in April this year, to emphasize the role of cinema, culture and creativity. Also to share you with some perspectives and global context of Lux Prize. We are looking for some answers.
How to promote young cinema artists, storytelling and production of cinema in Europe? How is Lux Award relevant to European Parliament, to society in Europe? And what does the success, 60 awards so far, including an Oscar and Golden Globe of movie Flow, tell us? So with us today are Doris Pack, a German politician, honor president of EPP Women and honor president of the Robert Schuman Institute and former member of the European Parliament. Madam Pack served as the chair of the EU Committee on Culture and Education, where she was one of the strongest supporters of the Lux Prize.
And Sandra Kalniete, member of European Parliament, member of Committee on Culture and Education, and among others, and Latvian politician, former Foreign Affairs Minister and European Commissioner, and also the author of many best-selling books. We are grateful for your time and we'll start with the first question to our dear guests. So, as Ellen already mentioned, over the weekend we had great news. One of the Lux Prize nominees, the movie Flow, wins Animated Feature Film and Academy Awards. And this movie by Latvian director Zilba Lodis and is produced together with Belgian and French producers and then delivered our first Oscar to Latvia. Let's see the trailer first of the movie.
Ήθελα ότι ήμουν πάνω στη σκηνή, στο σπίτι μου μέσα.
Папочка, люблю. Возвращайся скорее домой.
Is anybody in love? I'm in love with all of you.
So, Ms. Kalniete, I have a question for you. What was your reaction when you first heard about this news, good news about movie Flow winning the Oscar?
My first reaction was I thought that this is the night when half of Latvia was not sleeping because due to time difference, we had the beginning of the ceremony at 2 o'clock. And when the news came out, I think we were all so happy. That was immense proudness. And as you can see, this is now my basics, what I will wear every day.
Yeah.
With this Oscar, we are providing that European cinema is great again. Madam Pack, which of movies or directors made a special impression in history on you and cinema in general?
I think I'm a very good friend of Wim Wenders, who gave me also the idea to try to find the European soul. And after him, the soul is our culture. And what better can show our different cultures in Europe as the films? But the problem was that I never could see a film in Lithuanian if it is not subtitled or synchronized. And so I think it was a very good idea of a friend of us who started in 2007 with this Lux Prize. And I think now we have in 23 languages a lot of films. And I want to say, I remember the first film who gets a prize. It was On the Other Side of Fatih Akim. And then I remember it was a very good film also of the different topics which are dealt in the different countries. Asylum seekers, for example, it was Welcome, a French film of a young asylum seekers who want to go to France and from France swimming to Dover. So I think it was really very much touching and opened the eyes for this problem, which is not a problem only for France, but for all of us. And then I remember also a very important one. It was in English, it was When We Leave, from an Austrian filmmaker lady. And this was something of the situation of Turkish people living in Germany and having the, how to say, having to follow the rules and that didn't want to follow. So I think it was really very touching. And I'm still in contact with the lady who had the most important role inside. So this is from the early beginning, because we started in 2007. And I think there are a lot of other films I could mention, but I will stop now.
Thank you, Mrs. Pack, to bringing us back into those times and to remember all these great movies.
And Kalniete, I have a question for Kalniete as well. Which cinema artwork was developing this passion for cinema for you in your life?
You know, it's even more ancient than the story what was told by Doris, because when I was a child, together with my parents, I had the opportunity to see the War and Peace movie, which was made in the United States. And it was so overwhelming because the grayness of Soviet life and all these gorgeous interiors, beautiful people like Audrey Hepburn, Mel Ferrer, Henry Fonda. And for years and years, so this was something what I always cherished. And I think that was I was not able to understand the content. I was really of small age, but that really pushed me towards the cinema, because I even tried to study in the International Cinematographic Institute in Moscow, but I failed. And I worked in the cinema myself in the movies, in several movies, when I was very young.
So congratulations for that as well, Mrs. Kalniete. Madame Pack, you were very active and engaged in the Lux Award almost since the beginning. So how would you describe the development of the Lux Award throughout all those years? Where does the Lux Prize go from there? And do you think it will succeed in getting more young people involved in that to watch European movies, not only American movies?
No, for sure. But I think we started in 2007.
Yes.
And in 2020, we started a new part, because at this time, we got the commission on our side with Creative Europe, and we got the cinema, Europa Cinema. Together, we are now building a common house for this prize of the European Parliament, which still is in the Parliament and will be given the prize in the European Parliament. I wanted to tell you, we started and we had only 3 films. Now we have 5 films. And I think one thing was very important, because we have the 3 films and then the 5 films, always 23 subtitled. Incredible. So, but I think there's one thing which not everybody knows. The one who gets the most, he get a version for blind. And when we did it for the first time, I was in Berlin, we had invited the Blind Union. And these people, it was a normal film, but it was for blind, told. And it was ended, and the people came and said, please, can you help us to see more films? Can you imagine? I started to cry, because it was so touching. We never believe, we never see these things. And this is something which is very important. We don't give the money for the films. We are subtitling with the money of the European Parliament, money for communication, not only for stilos on papers, but also for this, cultural gift, because it is the soul of Europe.
Yeah, right.
This is a very interesting story because the majority people would never come to that. Present a movie to the blind ones, and this is something which this Lux Prize was doing, and I hope it will do in future as well. Is something great for all our citizens. It's something inclusive. Madame Kalniete, do you think that as a potential Latvian winner of this Lux Prize, your movie Flow now, winner of Oscar, Golden Globe, will succeed in getting more young people to watch European movies? So similar questions to Mrs.
I would say that if we looked against Zilbalodis, he is the youngest ever animation director who received Oscars.
Yeah.
And I believe also that this movie will inspire young independent directors to apply for different sort of independent grants to make new movies. And I also would like to say that this success of Flow confirmed the importance of creativity, because there is a lot of talk that artificial intelligence will completely abolish creativity. No, that is the same like photo or other technologies. That is an instrument which can be used by creativity and imagination. Artificial intelligence, it's a technology. But for creation, you need a divine touch, which is a very complicated process.
And as Mrs. Pack said, artificial intelligence doesn't have a soul.
Yeah, that's true.
Exactly.
That is true.
That is right, and I can also add that movie is a very complicated, let's say, art piece, because it's also have music in it, and so it's another industry. So having this in mind and having your big experience in culture and politics and diplomacy, where do you see this European cinema industry now? We know that you also mentioned that like small groups of people, small enterprises are working on that.
I think that what is important with the success of Flow, that this is a movie with a rather small budget, which shows that that is possible for with current technologies for many people. But also what is important that we preserve the basic principles of the Union, which is united in diversity. Diversity is about freedom of expression. And without diversity, creativity, artwork is not possible. This is absolutely fundamental truth, which we are experiencing here in Europe, and that's why it is important that the financial support for independent cinema is more and more coming from the European institutions. That is very important. Otherwise, we will be completely under the pressure of big studios with big budgets.
Yes, you already mentioned the great impact and relevancy of European independent cinema. So, and what would you say about this political impact of Lux Prize? Or impact of Lux Prize? We already mentioned
I would
social
say
and
that again, that's about diversity, as Doris told, that these are subtitled in all European languages and also in other languages which are used by different groups. And I think that this is also an open window for us to know better the nations with whom we are making this union. That is very important from political point.
Mrs. Pack, what do you think? Why is independent media, independent European cinema so relevant and so important for us in Europe today?
Yeah, listen, we are looking on institutions. We are not looking deeply in what is our common, our heart, once again, our soul, so to say, because we are so diverse in our cultures. But this is not so much known. If you go only as a German, go to Mallorca, that is not Europe alone. You have to see what's going on in Latvia. You have to see what's going on in Ireland, in Germany, because we have all different cultural identities, and together we are Europe. And therefore, we need films to show us the reality of the neighboring country, which you can only get a smell of if you can see it, if you can get the, you become sensible to understand it. And therefore, I think we should more and more pay attention to our young people, because these people, look how they have voted in Germany, right wing. Very much right wing. They are not really, they don't realize what this European Union has a luxury of culture, of possibilities, and they are looking only in the nationalistic way. And therefore, we are having this youth program. I don't know if you want to ask me, but I want to tell you, we have from the early beginning made an open call for young people. We have from every country, 27 now, we have one person for a whole year in the Lux Prize. And they are trained, they have a chance to speak with filmmakers, with producers, and the parliament take care of them. And we brought them always to the festival in Venice, and there that was the Kalavivari, head of festival in Kalavivari, who took care of them in Venice the whole week. They could see the films, they discussed with the filmmakers.
I regret that I'm not the young one. I would love
incredible.
This
and these people coming from 27 countries, they know each other. They were together 1 week. And I have met in Berlin during the festival. I went on the street and sometimes, hey, Mrs. Pack. I was looking and I said, yes, I'm one of the 27. Can you imagine? So you see, it is really something which can bring young people, and especially people, to go in this direction. Yes. Yeah.
Thank you very much. I think the European movies are discovering again the European soul.
Yeah.
And we are discovering each other in Europe through European movies.
Yeah.
So, dear guests, thank you very much for participating and sharing your experiences and your views on Lux Awards today, on movies today and in the future, and as well on how it all started. And we have one message.
We have one important message. Please follow the Lux Audience Award this year and vote.
Please vote.
We vote. Me
Please
too.
vote.
Not
Please
in the
vote.
parliament.
Please vote. And we wish you, Linda and me, we wish you a lot of success in your tireless and important work in your fields, especially in connection with the Lux Award, with the movies, the European movie landscape. And we wish more prizes for our movies, like the recent prize, Oscar, for the movie Flow. And with us today in the open studio in the European Parliament in Brussels were Doris Pack, German politician, honor president of EPP Women and honor president of the Schuman Institute, former member of the European Parliament. Ms. Pack was serving also as chair of the European Committee on Culture and Education, where she was one of the strongest supporters of the Lux Prize. And
also Sandra Kalniete, member of European Parliament, Latvian politician, member of Cult Committee here in European Parliament, among other committees, and also author of books.
And we are?
We are Linda Berziņa.
And Alen Legovic, and thank you for watching us. Watch us and vote for the movies in the Lux Prize 2025. Follow us on our YouTube channel, follow our activities on the EPP press service and our social media channels in the European Parliament from the heart of Europe. See you soon and goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Bye-bye.